Hey everyone!
Hi.
Welcome to our latest episode of Real Talk Tonight. I am your host, Annalise Garcia. Can you turn the light on? Because the light on isn't light. The light. Yep. There you go. There we go. Let's turn the light
Technical
on.
difficulties here. We handled it. We handled it like pros.
I was like, why is it so nice in here? Because the fucking hot ass light isn't on. That's why. Got to change that.
This is Annalise Garcia.
Yes.
I'm Heather Bravo.
Yes.
This is our show, Real Talk Tonight.
Yes.
Where we say and do anything.
And everything.
Word.
Life. This is basic thugonomics. Let's John Cena this shit.
Thug life. Thug life, 100%. Oh my God. So we have a great show for you tonight.
Yes.
We are interviewing a young man. His name is Edward Bravo. And I hope he doesn't mind me mentioning this, but he's my son. He is my eldest. He's 27 years old. He's a high school graduate, some college education under his belt. And recently, I'm talking in the last year, he was working for a family business. And he actually went to go do something and was stopped by ICE. And ICE was backed up by our local sheriff's department. So we're bringing him on the show. We want to talk to him about it, talk to him about the experience, his state of mind when it happened, what he experienced, and now how he feels about our local sheriff's department. I looked up some information. I'll share that with you during our interview with him. So let's bring on Edward.
Hey.
And hey, what's up? That's my boy right there. That's my boy.
How you do it?
I did that right there.
I'm good. How are you doing?
How you doing?
So I gave just a couple of seconds brief background on you. If there's anything else that you want to share about yourself, you can do so. If you want to just jump right into your experience, please do. I'm going to turn it over to you, sir.
Oh, okay. No, we can just jump in if you want.
Okay, so tell us, where were you going?
All right. So it was just a regular weekend. You know,
Okay.
I had the day off from work, and I was on my way into Lancaster to help out my uncle.
Okay.
I guess something had happened, and he just needed, manly man help.
A manly man, of course.
He's like, and of course I was there.
Hey. So went into town, everything was fine, went in, did what I was gonna help him out with. And while I was leaving, just heading back on home, enjoy the rest of my day off, noticed police on the corner, okay, just regular day, it's just police. So they're turning, to go opposite my direction, and they're staring at me, and I think this is weird because not only am I just a regular guy, but I was borrowing dad's police interceptor, 2007 Ford Crown Vic. So it was basically another cop car,
Right.
And so I figure, they're either staring at the car or something. I look at them and, acknowledge them. Hey, how's it going?
Right.
Not even 20 seconds later, I've got the lights behind me, pulling me over. I'm like, oh, damn, what the hell's going on? Pull over, roll down the window, look in the mirror, sheriff, and then I see the big ICE.
Oh, wow.
What? This is Southern California. What are you guys doing here?
Right.
So pull on up. Sheriff don't even ask me anything, just not the whole license registration, none of that. He just go, oh, hey, how's it going? And I'm like, hey, what's up? What's going on? ICE agent is knocking on the other window, so I roll it down, what's up? And yeah, I don't know if it was a power trip or what, because he just started asking all sorts of ridiculous questions, like, Oh,
Still, they hadn't given you a reason why they pulled you over, right?
yeah, no reason at all. No reason. Not speeding, stoplight. You know, you got something dangling in the rear view. Nothing. And
you use that car for work, so we know that no taillights were out, no headlights were out, no signal lights were out, the tags were up to date, current registration, and insurance. So we know that you were not stopped because of the vehicle, right?
Yep. Not at all. Nothing at all. And so he starts asking me questions, you know, oh, where were you born? Are you from here? You know, like,
what does that have to do with a driver? Like,
exactly, like, or where's your, he said, where is your proof of citizenship? And I was like, proof of citizenship? And at the time, I was an armed guard,
right?
You know, so to have those,
have to go through Homeland Security checks, everything to become a
provide
armed guard.
birth certificate and everything. And I literally had my work shirt and badge in the seat next to me. And I was like, what do you mean? You know? And yeah, it was crazy. Like he just, like I said, asking me about, you know, my birth certificate and all this stuff. And so I started getting a little irritated, you know, like I'm natural born citizen. My family's been here forever, you know, and so, you know, you know me, I get a little, you know, hey, so are you from around here? I didn't recognize your accent, you know, like
that's my
he had one of those, oh, my name is Daryl and my other brother's name is Daryl, type of accents. So, you know,
they came from a sister fucker state.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Gotcha.
exactly.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Exactly. So I was just like, hey, are you from around here? Like, I don't know your accent, you know, like,
yeah.
I don't recognize it. Meanwhile, local sheriff is just laughing between our conversations, you know. ICE agent, officer, whatever, threatens to pull me into their lockup or whatever to provide proof of citizenship or residency or whatever.
Wow.
And you know, I'm like, hey man, like I know I'm 100% American citizen, so I've got that little chip on my shoulder and like proudness, you know, pride. You don't want me in there with all those border brothers. We'll be screaming Wolverines, you know, everything.
Whatever that for? Yes, Wolverines.
Exactly, America. And yeah, the sheriff finally was like just laughing, busting up laughing at the conversation, and he looks over and goes, "Oh yeah, he's an American citizen for sure. You have a nice day, sir." You know, and I say, "You too," and I'm just like, "Fuck you, man," you know. But
yeah.
So essentially, they pulled you over for looking Latino.
Pretty much, at least that's what it felt like to me.
Because they didn't give you any other reason for pulling you over, right?
Yeah, no tail lights, no expired tags, no nothing, no busted headlights. And it was the middle of the day, you know, probably like 1, 2 in the afternoon. And I looked to the car beside me, was a white lady, and to the car behind me was a black gentleman. So, yeah.
You were the one that was profiled.
Yeah, exactly.
So, you know, I found out that by law, ICE can pull over a person of interest to them and search them or ask for residency proof up to 100 miles from the border. I Google searched from our house to San Diego, not even all the way to the Mexican border, just to San Diego, and it's 160 miles. So they were way out of their league to pull you over. And for them to just automatically, where were you born? Are you from here? Like, and our sheriff's department in the Antelope Valley backing them up and
Super racist.
allowing these profiling and these searches or questioning to go through like this is just unbelievable. There have been stories after stories after stories of people. There was actually a gentleman in our community of Lake LA that ICE pulled up to his house. He was outside with his grandkids. They came up, asked him his name. He told them his name. They put handcuffs on him and detained him, took off, leaving his grandchildren in the front yard by themselves, took him away.
Wow.
Denied him for 5 days to be able to call any of his family members, for anyone to see him, anything. I actually spoke with his daughter. She said it took them 3 days to find out where they were holding him. They only knew what was going on, but what the grandkids were able to tell them. They found him 3 days later. They took his documentation. He was born in Mexico, but he had been a US citizen for over 30 years. And they took all his documentation and they still held him for another 7 days with no reason. And then they released him literally on the street, not even taking him back to his house.
Jesus Christ.
He had no money, no cell phone, nothing on him. Luckily, a Good Samaritan actually saw what was happening and offered their phone to him so he could call his loved ones. But there's stories like that all over the place. And me being a mom, hearing that we were pulled over by ICE, I was furious, like furious.
Oh, yeah.
Because one, our sheriff's department is allowing this to happen in our community. ICE is way, like far away from the border. Like they have 100 miles. We are 160 miles just from San Diego. So for them to come into our neighborhoods, in our home, and do this to us just because they drive by and you look Hispanic, you know, you have the goatee, you have the short hair, you know, you're dark complected, but are they asking like, hey, so do you have a job? Do you go to school? Are you a high school graduate? Are you in college? Hey, do you have student debt? Let me help you out with that shit. You know what I mean? Like you're a productive member of society, and you're not saying, hey, you know what, let's applaud you for doing what you do to community, to contribute to your community. They're like, hey, let me question you and see if I can find a fault in you so I can take you in. Like I'm furious. I'm so furious. But I'm very thankful that I have raised a young man who has manners and respect, and who didn't get too agitated with them and give them a reason to react. I mean, this happens to you, that happened to the grandfather. You know, so much racism is going on still to this day. And, you know, like we all know when, you know, Theo Trump took office, like that's when people felt that it's okay to be openly racist and really expressed it. And, you know, it's just, it's very difficult being a parent, seeing your child go through that. We had an interview with your sister a little while ago, and she was talking about the racism that she's experiencing in Washington. And just because her married last name.
Oh, really?
So like it's everywhere and it's going on, and it's so frustrating. And then boom, we had, you know, the George Floyd incident, you know, and it's like, when does it stop? When do they stop profiling people? When do people's pasts stop defining who they are today? And when does your skin color or how you wear your hair or your facial hair, when does that stop being a reason to question your integrity and your upbringing and your respect and the type of person that you are?
Oh
It's
yeah, it is.
difficult. So how do you feel now when you see ICE or you see the local sheriffs? Like, were you at all concerned when they pulled you over for your safety?
Well, yes and no. Uh, being an American, you're like, oh no, that's not gonna happen to me because I have rights and they're here to supposedly protect us, protect and serve. But also being a Mexican American, then it's like, oh, I won't be American enough for you, like in a lineup of me and other people of fair complexion, then it's gonna be like, oh, this guy's the criminal, this guy's, this and that. And so it makes you feel like, what the heck? So like, yes and no. And like you were saying earlier, like if I wasn't as careful, like
Yeah.
I could have been the next George Floyd,
Yeah.
it could have been me before him, you
Yeah.
know. So
I agree. And that's things that, as a mom, I worry about. And that was one of the reasons, because of the racism and because of things going on, that, I didn't want to raise you and your brother in Pacoima. Even like I wanted to get you guys out of there. And that's why we came to the AV. And the funny thing is you went to a charter elementary school in the heart of Pacoima with all different races, police station just down the street, gang violence a couple of blocks away, and you didn't know what racism looked like until we moved to the Antelope Valley. I would also like for you to tell the story of when you were 11 years old in the grocery store parking lot, please.
Okay, so we had just moved out to the Antelope Valley.
Yes.
We were in Foods for Less parking lot, you and me.
Yes.
And I forget who it was or what we were waiting for. But there was an older white lady, I don't know, 50s, maybe 60s.
Right.
And she comes out into the car in front of us. And I see her struggling with like a big sack of rice, maybe a case of waters, if I remember correctly. And back where we came from, all the young, if they saw that, they would help all the elderly. They'd help them with their groceries. You saw them at the light, you help them cross the street,
right.
Stuff like that, because that could be your grandparents.
That's right.
It could be your mom. So everybody always did that. So I grew up seeing that,
right.
at least until 11, 12 years old. And so I get off the car to go up and help her, just like I know what to do.
Right.
And
I didn't
I get up.
Yeah. You looked at me and you said, "Ma, look it, she needs help. I'm gonna go help her." Like you jumped out of the car. I was so proud. I was like, yes, that's my young man. That's the man that I raised. I was so proud.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how it was. That's how you raised us. That's how we saw everything. So I get off the car to go and help her, because like I said, that could have been my grandma or whatever. And I go up to her and I'm like, excuse me, ma'am, you need any help with that? I'm pretty strong, I can help. I'm a little kid. I had spiky hair, that Dragon Ball Z show was the thing, I thought I was a little Super Saiyan, and she ignores me at first. And I'm like, oh, she didn't hear me. And so I speak up a little louder, maybe she can't hear that well. And she looks at me, and I remember her face. It was just like anger, like pure hatred in this lady's eye. She didn't know me, and I was a freaking kid.
Right.
And she looks up to me and starts cursing at me, telling me to get away, wetback, and different stuff like this. And I'm like, wetback? What the hell's a wetback?
Right.
Just cursing at me, criminal, flipping me off, flipping you off.
Purse.
Yeah, grab
your
purse
and held it close to her like this. And that's when I looked at her like, what is she doing?
Psycho.
Yeah, yeah. She flipped you off, and then I remember you calling me back in, and we get back in, and yeah, this lady's like just staring at us. She hates us. She don't even know us, and flipping us off, driving away like if her life was in danger.
Right.
And I mean, she might have encountered that before, but I'm an 11-year-old kid. I didn't even have this hair or nothing,
Not yet.
Like really, from a kid?
Yeah.
This isn't like, like Somalia or, a third world country, where, you got that going on. So I'm like,
that was like his first encounter with racism. And then it's like he was 11 years old. And then you have elderly people nowadays saying, oh, these kids today don't have any manners and they don't have any respect. And it's like, well, I raised my kids to have manners and respect towards all races, all shades of skin, all ages. He would have done the same if it was a young lady trying to get stuff into her car. It didn't really matter that this lady was an elderly person. What matters is that I raised a gentleman. And that's what he does. And his brother, that's what he does. They see anyone struggling. It could be a man struggling, and they'll run right up to help. So for him to experience this at such a young age, and like just coming home going like, wow, mom, like, what did I do wrong? I was like, you didn't do anything wrong. Like that person had something stuck in their head and their image of you when you just walked up. So they were already judging you. Like, and you're going to encounter people like that. And it's sad that we have to prepare our kids for that moment, because everyone will experience that. Even our little white boy rednecks, y'all are going to experience too. Somebody's going to tell you to go back and fuck your sister again. And, and it's the truth. Like every single race experiences some form of racism. And whether you're white, black, Asian, Indian, whether you come from Afghanistan or Jerusalem, or if you grew up in Beverly Hills, you're going to be labeled some rich, snotty, little snooty person. No matter what, you're going to experience it sometime. And it just sucks that we have to prepare our kids at such a young age. He was 11. And then he experienced so much racism in the elementary school as well, that like it's just mind-blowing. And I'm just so proud of you, son, that you are such an amazing person and such a gentleman that to this day you still wouldn't hesitate to run over and help that old lady. Even if it was the same one, you would run over there and help her. And I'm so proud of the man that you are.
I try.
He's like, keep going,
right,
keep going.
And he's like, save dollars, mom. Yeah, I got you. No, but he's always been such a great help in our household. Like since he was small, oh, do you need help with the dishes, mom? Oh, let me help you with my brother and sister. Because he was 3. His sister was 1 and his youngest brother was a newborn. So I had 3 at 3 and under. So he was always so helpful with his brother and sister, and always when he was in school, like he kind of had to set the pace and the tone for his brother and sister, and let them know like, hey, they may be small and they may look white, but he was the big brother and he was the protector. And he set good examples for his brother and sister. And, he's always had great manners and great respect. And, like his grandparents, aunts, uncles, everybody just love his mannerism because he's always been like that. And, I'm just super proud of you. And I think that you handled the ICE situation very well. You let them ask questions, you answered them. And it was when it started getting ridiculous that you showed you were annoyed, and anybody else, had it been like a cranky old white lady or a white dude, they would have been like, I have things to do. You're taking up my time. you're wasting my time. Can we move on? You know, and the fact that you entertain them for a little while and let them get their kicks. But then when they realize like, hey, I'm getting on your nerves, and the other officer says like, hey, yeah, you know, he's making comments like Wolverines, you know, like he knew that you grew up here. So, you know, if anybody doesn't realize, he's referring to Red Dawn, the movie Red Dawn. Patrick Swayze, look it up, great movie. So, you know, so to this day, how do you feel like if you see a sheriff, like has it kind of given you a little bit of PTSD, or are you still like, whatever, I know I'm not doing anything wrong, I know I'm a good person, they can question all they want? Like, how do you feel towards it now?
A bit of both. Like I said before, you know, just I'm not doing anything. What are you gonna do to me? But then we've had so many different examples, even in our own valley. You know, we had an 11-year-old, no, he was 11 or 12-year-old black kid. I believe he was autistic, playing in the park, and somebody said that he had a gun, and it wasn't, it turned out. And this kid is told to get off his bike at gunpoint, and the officers shoot the kid in the back.
Yes, and he was autistic, and this happens a lot in our community with our sheriffs there. I don't know if it's because of really bad experiences or working in areas that are really rough, that has really traumatized our police force and our sheriffs, to where they are so terrified and gun happy and trigger happy that they literally took down this little boy, and he was autistic and he didn't understand the directions that they were telling them. One, I kind of am pissed off at the parents, because if he's not going to understand, why is he by himself? But they're totally not to blame for what happened to him. And you know, turn around and they tell him, get off your bike. He got off his bike, and I guess he wasn't understanding the rest of the instructions, and he turned his back to them, and they shot him and killed him in his back. And later on, the stories were out like, oh, he had a gun, oh, he had this, oh, he was resisting.
But if they shot him in the back, he was clearly walking the fuck away from you.
Right. He was
resisting. Like, what? How was he resisting when his back was to you?
Exactly.
Like, this shit is fucking ridiculous. Like, no, I don't think these cops are traumatized. I think that there is a fucking insane culture within the police force. They're racist pieces of shit. And even the black policemen have been taught to be racist against their own people.
Yes.
And assume their job is supposed to be, see, that's the problem, is police officers nowadays, they think their job is for them to get home safe. That's not your fucking job. Your job is for me to get home safe.
Yeah.
So that's the problem is picking up the gun should be the last resort, but instead it's the first thing they do, even when their lives are clearly not at risk.
Yes. Yes. No. I saw an article today, in fact, that reminded me of this conversation, Edward. So the article said that, you know, it takes someone 4 years to get a college degree. It takes someone 8 to 10 years to become a doctor. And it takes someone 4 to 6 years to learn the law, to be a lawyer or to work in the court systems. It takes 4 to 6 years for that to happen, for you to have the knowledge that you're supposed to have to stand before a judge, but it only takes 6 months to become a police officer.
Yeah.
So what does that take? 6 months, and you're a police officer, and you're let loose on the street to have your gun and turn off your body cam whenever you feel like it, and get away with murder. And I know that there was another story, wasn't there, in our community? There was a young kid, and he had a orange squirt gun, in his hand. This boy was also autistic. He was autistic and he was in Lancaster. And someone reported that he was vandalizing something and that he had a gun. And the police came up and they were told him, show me your weapon. And he giggled and laughed and was like he didn't understand. They asked him, what is in your pocket? And he said, my squirt gun. And they said, let me see it. And he pulled it out and they lit him up. It was on camera. People recorded it. There were eyewitnesses. It happened right in front of this elderly lady's home. She was outside and clearly from her porch saw that it was a toy orange gun, and the cop in front of him 5 feet lit him up. So, I mean, it's sad.
Yeah. They kind of like, even it's bad, or I don't really want to say because like you don't want to believe it, but they kind of like encourage it. You know?
Yes, they do. It's true.
Another little story I have: when I was working, before I was an armed guard, I was just a regular guard. Me and my partner were working in this kind of rough area apartment complex, and there was a group of maybe 6 or 8 dudes in the parking lot, and the owner of the complex didn't want anybody there hanging out, you know? So we go up there, do our job, tell them, hey guys, unless you guys live here, we can't have you guys like hanging out, blah, blah, blah. They decided to get all angry and everything, tell us that, oh yeah, we're gonna come back with guns and more people, and we're gonna like have a shootout, you know? And only my partner was armed at the time. So we call up the police station, have it on speakers so we can tell them and so they can hear what's going on. And we call them and say, hey, we're guards here at this location just down the street from you. These people threaten that they're going to come back with guns and more people and shoot at us and shoot out. And there's children that live right here. You know, we don't want it to escalate like that. Can you send help? And the lady that was on the phone had said, are you licensed to legally carry a firearm in the state of California on your job? And my partner says, yes, I am. And the lady straight up goes, okay, then shoot them, and hangs up on us.
Yeah.
Leaves us hanging. Luckily, those guys were all talk. But what if it had happened? 8 to 12 guys came through guns shooting at us in the apartment complex. Children around, everything, and we had called it in.
Wow.
Right?
You know what it is?
Yeah,
it's go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say it's kind of ridiculous. It makes you not want to call them, you know, like why am I gonna call you if you're just gonna tell me to do your job?
Yeah.
You know, like
yeah. And it's I think the way the relationship between police and the community can be summed up like super simply. I've never seen someone be driving on the freeway and have a cop get behind them and they go, oh, thank God there's a cop behind me. I've literally never seen that. I've never seen anyone feel happy or relieved or protected or safe or like, oh, I'm so glad there's a cop behind me right now. People's reaction to a cop behind them is automatically negative, even if they're not doing anything wrong.
Right.
Even if you're not doing anything wrong, you see a cop behind you, your stomach sinks.
Yeah.
Yep, you start getting that.
What does that tell you?
Yeah.
Right. True story. On my way here to record today, I'm on the 14 freeway. There was a big accident. We were all backed up for about 20 minutes. Finally, traffic's going through. I'm driving. I'm going about 75 miles an hour. There are cars whipping around me, honking at me, and just boom, just flying past me. This cop in an SUV speeds up, gets right on my ass, and kind of lingers there for a couple of minutes. Well, I don't hit my brakes and I don't take my foot off the gas. I'm just going, right? There's plenty of people passing me up. So I'm cool, right? No, asshole pulls up next to me, looks at me. I look at him and he goes, like that. So I looked at him and I went, like, what, you know? And he tells me, slow down. So I'm like, oh, okay. So I take my foot off the gas. And then he goes and he gets off the freeway.
You're going 5 miles because that stretch is 70.
Yeah.
You're going 5 miles over the speed limit.
5 miles over the speed limit, but people are whipping by me, passing me up like crazy. But he comes to fuck with me.
Yeah.
Yes, he could have pulled me over. He could have given me a ticket for 5 miles over the speed limit. Thank you, sir officer, that you did not. But
when she says sir officer, she means cocksucker. That's what she means.
The whole bag.
The whole bag of dicks.
But, you know,
Yep.
but there were plenty of other people he could have fucked with, or he could have pulled over, or he could have gone up there and been like, hey, slow the fuck down, you know, to them. But he picked me, and I just felt kind of weird about that. Like, I mean, I don't look like, I don't know. I don't know what I look like, but like, I look like I'm the little old lady that you fuck with, I guess. I don't know.
No.
Because he pulls up and like, I honestly was like, I'm not doing anything wrong. There's no reason for him to do anything. And he was just like, slow it down. I was just like, oh shit. Oh,
Highway patrol is completely useless. You know how I know this? Because they're always trying to destroy someone's day who's already late for work. They're always pulling people over just to fuck their day.
Yeah.
But if you're pulled over on the side of the road with your hazards on, the cops don't pull over to help you. Do you know what I'm saying? Like they're not actually there to serve or protect or do fucking anything for you except fuck with you.
Their cars no longer say to serve and protect.
Of course not.
No, it just says police or sheriff or whatever. It no longer says to serve and protect.
Fucking up your day since 1850.
Yes. Here to fuck with you, no problem. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Like, are you black? Here, let me fuck with you for a while.
Yeah.
Are you Hispanic? Here, let me call ICE real quick.
Are you ethnically, like, I can't quite tell what you are and you have a beard, so I automatically assume you might be a Muslim? Let me fuck with you for a while.
But they don't fuck with these big ass Grizzly Adam looking motherfuckers. You know, these fucking cornbread fuckers that are like, you know, 6'6" and 350 pounds and have a fucking beard out here like this and a beer belly like this wearing a plaid fucking shirt.
Are you describing Santa right now?
Because you got all excited.
It really sounds like Santa.
Well, especially I'm not sure about everywhere else, but you do hear it online and everything. But out in our little sand pit, it was pretty dangerous for the past couple of years. If you were black, brown, Asian, anything. We had I don't know if you remember, there was a few months ago, even maybe in the beginning of the year, there was a man, I believe he was mentally ill, but he was a well-known old man just hanging out in his front yard. And it came out that the neighbor didn't like him, did not like him at all, had a dispute over, I don't know, a fence or dogs or something. And just decided one day to call the police, say that he was out front of his yard with a shotgun or something. And the cops literally showed up and just shot him on sight.
No, okay. So
like this was going.
You were at work.
Yeah.
What happened? Okay.
So
we get notified from Aria's school. My granddaughter, she was in preschool class. And that they were on lockdown because there was a shooter in the area. The shooter was supposedly on 170th Street East and Avenue O. It's an intersection. There's a Dollar General, a Family Dollar, a independent study school, a library, and another gas station and liquor store, Saddleback Market.
Right.
And they said he was there, that he shot at 3 people. Okay. And so boom, cops come out, helicopters are out. They're looking for this guy. Like they're looking everywhere. Finally, somebody says, oh, we saw him on 167th Street. Well, come to find out the man lived on 167th Street. They are in a neighbor's backyard and see him in his own backyard.
Oh yes,
This
yes,
is caught on a ringer, the ring,
yes, yes.
okay, where you see one cop talking to his daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Their house. She is in the house. The cop is on the front porch, and she's telling him what's going on. And he's saying, you know, do you know this man? He was out shooting. She said, no, that's my father. He walks with a cane and carries a cane with him because he's been attacked by dogs out on his walk, and he has dementia. They went in his backyard and shot and killed him in his own fucking backyard in front of his daughter, who was begging them to please wait, let her go get her dad and explain to him what is going on so that he wouldn't be scared. And they said, stay here. And they went in her backyard and killed her father in front of her. He was 77 years old. This just happened like July.
Yes. A few months ago.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's like,
fuck.
Yeah, it was ridiculous, and it was even worse during Mr. Trumpet, you know? Like it was ridiculous. Like the whole
ridiculous. You mean the best? Is that what you mean, the best?
No.
It was you know.
I'll never fucking look at an orange the same way.
My son. That's my son.
Like, yeah, like it was crazy. Like I was working as a guard for a long while, almost since I was out of high school.
Yeah.
And I dealt with the regular, you know, shitheads or whatever, homeless, maybe some drug addicts here and there, you know, whatever. It wasn't until you know, Grandpappy Dragon was in office.
Grandpappy Dragon.
Yeah, it was that he was in office that I had. I think he lives around here. I've noticed his truck around. A white man, big lifted truck with those flags hanging from
Confederate
the
flag flying in the back. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Pulls up to me, and I'm clearly in uniform. You know, in uniform, on duty at my post.
Yes.
And this man tells me, he has the audacity to tell me, oh, that's interesting. Did you have your day off from raping and murdering people today?
Yes.
Yes.
I said that to my son.
Yes. And I was like, are you kidding me? You know, and then he has words, you know, we have a few words, and I'm like, yeah, whatever, get out of here, crackhead, you know, type of stuff. And he acts as though he's gonna pull a gun or something from his glove box. And I'm armed, so I'm just, yeah, you want to, you know? And he was like, yeah, whatever, wet back, I'll see you later. And I said, yeah, get back to your sister wife, bitch. You know? Like, takes off, and that's one of yeah, it's just one of many things that has gone down around here. It's ridiculous, you know, like, and all of a sudden, like yeah, we hated Trump, and we're not really a Biden guy. He was just the lesser of two evils, really. But since he's been in office, everybody's hating on him. But I have yet to see as much racism, at least in our valley, as I did when, you know, the Grand Dragon of the Ku Klux Klan was in office, you know?
No, I agree. I agree with you. And it's a scary thing because our men have it a lot worse. Like, you know, a Hispanic woman can walk down the street and not get fucked with. A Black woman could walk down the street and not get fucked with as much. I'm not going to say that they don't, because I see it every fucking day.
Yeah.
But our men, our Hispanic men, our Black men, our Middle Eastern men, our Asian men, like, they have it rough, really rough right now. Because lot of racism still going on.
There's this myth that the Black man and the Hispanic man is somehow inherently more aggressive, more, dangerous, more likely to blow up. Like, it's bullshit. It's, how many fucking white boys I've seen punch holes through walls or fucking throw their controllers like 5-year-olds when they fucking lose in a game and break shit and like
they lost their allowance and they're already in their 20s in college.
Right.
Yeah, they're not fucked with. They're not automatically assumed to be more aggressive or more hostile or more dangerous.
Well, I mean, it's like we are going to do a whole episode on racism, and I'm sure it's going to be about 3 or 4 hours long. But it's the difference between what happened to George Floyd and that kid, that mom drove him across state line with an automatic rifle for the purpose to go and fucking shoot Black people. And when he did shoot and kill a Black person, the cops walked up to him, high-fived him. Then when it realized, like, oh shit, that was caught on tape, they politely asked him to turn around and put cuffs on him, and then had him sit down on the ground, and they gave him a drink of water.
Yeah.
There's a big fucking difference. And then their excuses, oh, well, George Floyd had a criminal background. He used to write bad checks. Like, fuck you. You write fucking bad checks.
Yeah.
I guarantee you write fucking bad checks. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, the non-concern for an actual human life, no regard at all for a human life because of a color of a skin. Oh my God, like I want to cry. It upsets me so bad. And to know that our young men have to struggle with this on a daily basis. They have to be careful where they go. And when they go somewhere, they have to be careful who's around, or they have to take people with them. Yeah. But then, oh no, don't let there be a gathering of 6 people or more, or that's considered a gang gathering, and you'll have the cops pulled on you in our community. So it's not like our kids can be hoodlums and go hang out on the street corner, because they can't. Literally, they can't. So if anybody told me, hey, I saw your son, fuck you, no, you didn't. You're a goddamn liar. No, you didn't. So, it's really sad that our men have to really watch their back, and the racism that is open and freely flying about. Like, I feel like since Donald Trump took office, we as a nation took 20 steps back. And like, I felt like I was in the 1950s again. And, it's like, it's not fair and it's not right, because, they want our men to be the breadwinners of the family and to go out there and support and let their women be at home giving birth and all of that and cleaning the house and cooking their meals. But it's so dangerous for our men to step out of the door every day. You have to pray that they're going to make it home. I mean, getting back to, she's an atheist and I was raised Christian. I literally pray over my children every single day. My Eddie, like when he leaves the house, he has a best friend that lives a couple of blocks away, and he'll go and hang out with him. And I have to literally pray that my son comes home and makes it home. My other son, he's an electrician, and his job is dangerous enough, but he's on the freeway at 3:00 in the morning in the middle of the dark. And it's easy for them to mistake an identity, and all of that bullshit. And he has been harassed by police officers trying to go to work. And they're like, what are you doing with all these tools in your car? And he's like, I'm a licensed electrician. It's my job.
What the fuck are tools illegal to carry? Like, I just want to understand.
Well, they wanted to accuse him of stealing.
Tools?
Yeah. Why the fuck would he be up at 3:00 in the morning with a backseat full of tools?
Maybe a TV.
Obviously, he stole it.
If you're gonna steal, you don't steal tools. Like, come on.
So it's just
Union Electric hat and
yes.
You know, yeah. I got pulled over. I got pulled over one time when I was working at that auto collision spot,
Yes.
and all because I fit the description. And I was like, "Oh, really? Bald-headed Hispanic male in Southern California? What, you're gonna pull over like how many hundreds of thousands, if not millions of us? Like, come on."
Well,
It's
I was
ridiculous.
on the 5 freeway leaving Bakersfield going to Sylmar because my car, which was a 2015 Chevy, what did I have? It was
Malibu.
It wasn't a Spark. No, it was the little
Volt?
car. No,
No.
was it Volt? No, I don't know. Some of those little tiny half cars, and they said that my car fit the description of a vehicle that did a suspected drug drop in Shafter. And I said, oh, and the police officer, the highway patrol was like, yeah, let me have you step out of the car. And I got out of the car. I was on my way to a job interview. I had on a gray dress and black heels, makeup. My hair was all curly and done. And he looked at me and was like, girl, where are you going? And I said, I have a job interview that I'm going to be late for. And he didn't believe me. I literally had to call the company, let them know, one, I was going to be late because I was pulled over, and had to let them speak to the officer for the officer to confirm that I was going to a job interview and that I had not been just involved in a drug deal.
Wow.
70 miles an hour on the 5 freeway. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, been there, done that. I've had that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
No,
Like, yeah, it's ridiculous. You almost like lose faith in, in the whole system right there, like the whole system that's supposed to be there, like we've said, to protect and serve us, and instead just puts fear into our hearts or in our minds, or just like, oh no, I hope it's not me this time, or it's ridiculous, and we shouldn't have to go through that, and yeah, and like being a Mexican American male, it's really, really hard because we have a lot of pride and like, very macho, being both American, proud, land of the free, home of the brave, ain't no country like us.
Right.
Also being Mexican descent, we came from warriors, like,
yes,
like, and then for people who are supposed to fight for us or protect us is like, oh no, so it's, it sucks.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for sharing your stories with us. They were great. It was a lot of information, and I hope that people can really see and understand what we're going through. And I've had a lot of people say, "Oh, you guys always cry the race card." No, it's a fact.
It's real. It's real. Fucking real.
It is real. So thank you for sharing your stories with us, and I'm so glad that you're safe and okay. And I'm so proud of the man that you are. Thank you. Just continue being that wonderful person that you are. And I love you lots. I'll see you later.
All right. See you guys. Talk to you guys.
Bye. That was great.
Yes, that's my boy. That's my oldest. He's the one who in a previous show, we showed you my tattoo honoring my other son, Rhino. So that was his best friend since they were 12. And a lot of these things they experienced together. And my son is an amazing man. One day you'll get to meet my other son, and he's an amazing man as well. I feel really good that I raised him well. I'm so proud
You
of
done
him.
good.
I did good. Mama.
You done good.
I done good. So but ICE is real. They're out there.
I love how you're like, ICE is real.
ICE is real. Real folks. Just teach your kids, teach your young men to keep their cool. They're looking for reactions. They're trying to get a rise out of you. They're trying to find a reason to do something or take you away. And, we don't know what happens once they get you alone, and it's sad for us to say that. But I feel if we educate our young men on how to keep their cool and just how to get past it, is going to be a lot of help. And it's sad that they have to rehearse for this, but it's a fact and it's a reality, and it's in our life and it's in our face, and we have to do everything that we can to protect our guys. And
This was a good episode.
It was heavy.
It was, but it was important. And, I think that is one of the reasons why I really don't like running into cops and having to have encounters with them, because I don't want to say my temper, because I don't really have a temper.
No.
But
but you get irritated.
I am very easily irritated.
Yes.
This is true. And it's something that I'm working on, because even little things, especially if I drop something or knock something over, oh my God. Or if I push a button and it doesn't do what oh my God. There's a rage that builds inside.
She's the type of person
I can't do
that looks at it and goes, this is what it's supposed to do. Let me throw out the instructions and let me push this button.
Yeah.
Okay, how come that didn't happen? Let me push it one more time. Maybe if I push it hard or with my fist, it'll work better. Oh my God, I give up. Heather, you deal with it. I can't fucking do this.
So if I get, and it's even heat, right now, most of you would not call the temperature in this room right now hot. To me, it is so fucking hot.
It's hot.
And when the heat comes, I just want to, I want to scream.
She wants to punch you in the throat.
I want to scream. So being pulled over by somebody who is so clearly just being a condescending prick and a racist for no reason, I'm truly scared of an interaction like that, because I don't know how I would react, and I would probably end up hurt. Not because I would do anything to the person physically, but just because of I don't know if I could hold it in, or if I would be a smartass. I remember this was oh my God, this was maybe 10 years ago, 9-10 years ago. My ex-husband, his daughter was only 3 at the time, and she was in the back seat, in the car seat, and we were driving through 20th heading up to S. Not a great neighborhood. Okay. Middle of the night, we had just gotten some food or something. I think we went Jack in the Box. I did not have my ID on me or my wallet or my phone, because I wasn't driving. My ex-husband was driving. And these cops pull us over. No reason for why they pulled us over except the neighborhood we were driving through, which, what the fuck, that isn't a crime. And one of them is talking to my ex-husband, and one of them comes up to me, and I'm sitting in the front passenger seat, and he starts asking me for my ID. And I was like, I don't have my ID on me. And he was like, well, why not? And I was like, well, first of all, I'm not legally required to carry my ID on me, because that's not the law in California. And second of all, I'm not driving. Why would I have my ID on me? My husband is driving, And I'm like, so what the fuck? And then he started getting an issue with me because I was cursing. And he was like, ma'am, can you please stop cursing? And I was like, why? Is it fucking illegal to say fuck now? I swear to God, the hilarious thing is my ex-husband and the other cop, the guy's partner, were laughing their asses off by the cop car, just watching me go off on this guy. And it's like, but if I had been alone, this cop might have like thrown me to the ground and because I was being belligerent.
Yes.
But this motherfucker is straight up coming up to me, telling me that I need to have an ID on me when I'm not driving, and that why am I cursing like it's illegal? And I said fuck so many times. I was like, I can say fuck as many fucking times I want to fucking say fuck because it's fucking legal. Is it illegal to say fuck? No, then fuck off. Like, I can't do it. And that was my last real encounter with a policeman. I had one since then, and it was like a quick speeding ticket, and it was my fault. And I was like, okay, but I can't.
No,
it's hot.
It is the law now that you're required to carry identification on you at all times.
Since when in California? Since when?
Probably
because it didn't used to be. Mm-hmm. This is ridiculous. Mm-hmm. That can't be right. I knew in Arizona they did that.
I had my first job when I was 14. So I had to go get ID so that I could cash my paychecks. And when I was 15, a friend of mine and me were pulled over on cruise night on Van Nuys Boulevard. And it was two male LAPD officers that came up. And they pulled us over. They wanted to search the car. It was the 1986 Mitsubishi mini truck. It was navy blue. It had tinted windows. The windows were rolled down. They pulled us over. They pulled him out of the truck immediately, slammed him on the hood of the truck, put him in cuffs so that they could search him. And then they had me step out of the truck, and they asked for my ID. And I told them I was 15, that I had an ID and I knew my ID number, but my ID was at home. And they told me that I was legally required to carry identification on me at all times, whether it's a school ID or a state issue.
Well, that
ID.
changed.
So then they walked up to me and they were going to search me. And no, Mama Bear, no. I'm like, excuse me, but I am a female and you are a male. So you will not put one hand on me. If you would like to call a female officer over to search me, I would not have a problem with that. And he goes, oh, well, we're not really required to. And I said, well, you're not fucking touching me. I do not give you permission to touch me. He says, well, little girl, I don't need your permission. And I said, oh, you want to fucking bet? Because I'm looking at your badge number right now, and I will have your ass in court in a heartbeat. And his partner goes, oh, she's one of those. Back away. Back away.
One that knows her rights.
Yeah. She's one of those at 15. Fuck yeah, I'm one of those.
Yeah.
So, and then I started spouting out things that they were doing to my friend, male friend, that was illegal. And next thing you know, his cuffs were off. They were straightening out his jacket for him, patting him on the back. Okay, buddy, have a great night. Be safe. Yeah, because this little one was going to fucking have their asses in court. Yeah.
There's these people are like fucking drunk with power, and they will abuse as far as you let them.
Oh yeah.
So it's just, we got to have a deeper conversation.
We will.
This whole topic, and maybe we'll have a panel. I've had Christina Levo, who's a congressional candidate in Florida, and she's of Haitian descent. And we've had her on and talked about the problems with racism. So maybe for our racism panel, we could have her on.
That would be wonderful. Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Christine, if you watch this, I'm going to be texting you to invite you.
Yes. How fun.
She's amazing. Anything else that you want to say before we wrap this episode up?
I just think that this episode was so full of information, and, I just caution you. Be careful where you go, who you're with, who you're around, your surrounding. It's sad that we have to look over our shoulder, but we do. Yeah, we do, because nobody's going to protect us but us. So I stand firm on that. Watch out for your kids, teach them, watch over them, pray over them, and have a beautiful evening.
And threaten to sue people.
Yes, that always works.
Always threaten to sue people.
Yeah.
All right. All right, guys. This has been the latest episode of Real Talk Tonight. Thank you guys so much. Follow, subscribe, comment, and we will see you guys next time.
Bye.